companies will take these and they'll go, oh, whoops, that was bad, and then they'll try and fix it. A lot of them don't. Mine was pretty easy. I pretty much found an IoT device, took apart the firmware, and just found stored certificates inside of it. And I'll talk about why that's bad later. But like, I kind of just ran LS and was like, oh, hey, look, that's a CVE. So here's the process. Step one, we're going to find a cheap IoT device. I went to Amazon and I looked for Wi-Fi IP cameras. And I found the Amcrest, something, 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 something. Step two, download the firmware. I went to their website, firmware, I found the camera, and I hit the download button. I tried to get a picture of it recently, and they took the firmware down, or their website's just broken. There's a pretty good chance of either one, in all honesty, so couldn't tell you. Are you trying it? Oh, okay. But I had the firmware from when I actually did it, so I'll show you guys with this. Binwalk is a great tool. It helps you see what kinds of file systems are in these bin formats or disk images. So here we can see all the different like partitions. And this was an interesting case. Usually this isn't how firmware images are, but in this one, the whole thing was compressed, and then each section was compressed. So you had to extract it and then extract each section. Usually they don't do that. Usually it's like you have one firmware image and you just extract, and then you have access to the things. But oh well. So we did this, and then extract again, and then we run ls, and we see the private key sitting right there. So if you ever see private key.pem in an SSL directory, you should be very concerned. Because if you have the private key, you can be whatever thing you're looking at. So I can take that private key, throw it on my web server, and pretend to be this IP camera and steal people's credentials. This could be bad. Maybe you're using your IP camera as like a baby monitor or something. Now people can look at your baby. Anyways, that's my talk. Anyone have questions? Yep. Yeah, so the firmware is just a Linux image. Here's where the kernel stuff is, the userland stuff. They had a separate section for web, and then like a separate read-only memory section here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So the reason they, sorry. So Hector's asking why would they include a private key? That's stupid. The reason they do it is because they want you to have SSL while you're connecting to it, so your traffic is encrypted. They didn't have a good way to do it, so they just made one private key and put it on each box. So all the private keys are exactly the same. That's more of the problem than that it's stored. Like a better solution might be at startup, generate a self-signed key, and then each one has a unique self-signed key, rather than using the same one across all of them. Because if I just download the firmware, I can impersonate anyone's IP camera. Choi.
After finding the CVE, did the vendor contact you, or?
Kinda. They said, we saw that you did this, and here's a link to the report, and that was it. Yeah. No, I didn't think there would be, but I also would expect like $2, maybe. Yeah.
Did you actually buy the camera?
No. I wanted to. I was like, ooh, let's buy it and find out what else is broken, but I don't have $98 to drop on shitty hardware. So. Cool. Thanks, guys. Oh, I'm sorry, Simon.
I'm sorry. I don't know if you mentioned like how long did it take you to start to finish? Like from the point you downloaded the firmware to.
Well, learning bin walk took a minute. It wasn't very long. I found it and then I went on and I did other things because I wanted to get remote code execution, but then I ran out of summer and so it's still in progress. I'd still like to find code execution, but we'll talk. If I find some, I'll come back. All right, that's it for real.